ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on today's episode, we have a slew of new project announcements in the news. We'll get to the news streaming, and we're just going to skip over trailer talk this week. I know there is a Moon Knight trailer that caught a lot of buzz over the weekend, but I guess Monday, so it's over the week, but we're going to go ahead and just skip over that for now. We'll get to the new streaming list. Like I said, it's a very late list this week. What we're watching, of course, and our main review for the episode, Scream 2022. But before we get to any of that, I'm joined today by new cast Nathaniel Gingrich.
What up, folks? I have a new cast because I broke my clavicle. And they had to cast it up. Yeah, it's really weird. Just kidding. I've got a new cast of actors that is portraying me now.
For the requel, the Squadron requel.
For the Squadron requel, yes. And inevitably, when they do make our story into a movie.
Of course, yeah, down the line, yeah.
They will have to get a new cast.
The biopic, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play myself, I don't think.
You wouldn't?
No.
Who would you get to play yourself?
Oh, boy. Tori Spelling. Shout out, Scream. Oh, God, I don't know. What's his face? Baby Driver. He looks enough like me.
Okay, yeah. I don't know his name off the top of my head.
Ansel Elgort.
Yeah, Ansel.
Yeah.
Unless he's canceled. Hopefully not.
I think he is.
Oh, shit. All right, well, I guess I do have to play myself. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, not looking too good here, Nathaniel. Also coming with us today, it's Take a Stab at It, Tyler Vidalis.
Just go and stick your knife in there.
Yeah?
Sydney.
Take a stab at it.
Can you do it?
Take a stab.
Can you do a good Ghostface voice?
Me?
Yeah.
Man. Maybe. I'd have to really I'd have to listen to it.
You'd have to work at it? All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I'd have to listen to it and then kind of, but yeah, I think I could get there.
That's a lot to ask someone on the spot.
Yeah, it's hard.
We'll get into this. We're good.
Okay.
We're good.
All right.
You're a pretty good mimic.
I'm good.
Yeah.
All right. And also, joining us today, rounding out the squadron, it's big behind you, BlakeHolder.
Hey, what up, man?
You got a lot of green behind you, man.
Yeah, some would say that's my favorite color.
Machine.
Yeah. Hopefully, though, this may be, we'll have next week's episode. Maybe the last, second to last episode. Maybe.
Ooh, bit of sizzle.
So I'll get some words. Yeah. We'll see what my lender says tomorrow, but that they may give the green light.
Yes.
For lack of a better word. So we'll see what's
Mystery
up.
machine green light.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you gonna paint the whole house green?
Yes, as soon as you go in.
Get the fuck out.
Could you imagine?
It's the same color.
That'd actually be really funny though if I just moved in and just repainted
But
everything.
yeah, but it's like a full-on master bedroom too, or like.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That'd be too funny, man. No, that's a big purchase though. That's a big step.
Congrats,
Yeah,
bro.
so we'll see, man.
Yeah, hopefully. All right, well, let's get into the show here, guys. I don't want to wait too long because we do have a lot to get to. We'll get right into the news here with two new Christmas projects in the works here. They are both sequels / bringing back old franchises. So the first one we're going to start with here is a Christmas Story sequel is in the works with the original star Peter Billingsley. So he is set to at least produce, I believe, also star in it based on how they were kind of talking about it in the show. And then it's supposed to take place about 30 years after the original movie is supposed to take place. So the original movie is...
All right, so that would set it in the 80s, I think?
70s. The original story is set in 1940, which is way earlier than I thought it was set, but it makes a lot of sense looking back on it. Like I can see that now that they say that, but also like when I read that, I was like, that's really when it's set. I
remember watching it this year. I'm sorry. We're separated, folks, so there'll be a little talking over each other. But I remember watching it this year and being like, and wondering what time period it was exactly that they had on there, because it's based off the original thing's based off a short story, I want to say.
Yes, it's I'm trying to find it here.
Carver? No, I don't think it's Raymond Carver. No, it's definitely not. Goldman?
You know what? It doesn't say here. I thought it did, but I think you're right.
I think it's Goldman, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It sounds right, because I do think it is based on something like that. I can remember that being the case. Yeah, this is the interesting part here for me. It will be directed by Clay Cadis, who did the Christmas Chronicles for Netflix.
Oh, okay.
But the script is by Nick Shank, the writer behind recent Clint Eastwood movies such as Gran Torino and The Mule.
Recent?
Yeah, wasn't Gran Torino like 2013?
Gran Torino's old, man.
Yeah, Gran Torino's old. But interesting writing choice for a Christmas Story sequel.
Yeah, that is that was yeah. Does anyone want this? Are you guys on board for this? Have we even talked about this?
I honestly kind of wish they'd leave it alone. I don't need this. And A Christmas Story is my family's collectively probably favorite Christmas movie. It's my mom and my dad's for sure, because like we have the lamp, like we do all that stuff. That's a movie we watch like every Christmas almost. So I have like I don't know if I need this. I don't really want this. I'd rather the original movie just stay in its pristine, condition for what it is. I don't necessarily need a sequel. I'm tired of all these sequels, man.
I don't know if anybody does.
We don't need it.
This could be rough, because this is like such a timeless classic that this could blow up pretty bad in their face.
Yeah, I definitely think so too.
Regardless of who's writing it or directing it or anything like
agreed, that. Yeah. The other thing is this is going to be straight to HBO Max, like an HBO Max movie, not necessarily one.
Was it? I thought it was Apple.
Theaters. You're thinking of the other Christmas series that's coming back, which is Tim Allen's Santa Claus series.
That's going to Apple?
That's going to Disney Plus.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No,
I feel like
Disney
the first
Plus.
one.
What is going to Apple? No, this one, it says HBO Max.
There's another 90s dad somewhere out there playing some kind of character from Christmas. It's going directly.
Apple is getting Godzilla, I believe.
Oh, there it is.
Of course.
Yes, which we talk about later. That is in the
bit of sizzle
here. Bit of sizzle. Yeah. So, but anyway, Tim Allen's getting Santa Claus at Disney Plus, reprising his role, and he's doing that with the showrunners from Last Man Standing. It seems like.
Okay.
Again, don't necessarily know if I need that. I remember liking and enjoying the first 2 Santa Claus movies. I don't know if I've seen more than that.
I think there's 3.
There is 3. I know for sure. I remember. I think last year, the year before last, my brother and I watched all 3 of them, and they're okay. I really like the first one, as Adam was saying. That's one of my family's classics.
Bro, the first one is top notch.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, that's got to be one of my favorite Christmas movies.
Yeah, I think it's up there for me. It's that and Home Alone for me. But I'm more on board for this one, maybe just because it's more recent. But yeah, I'm kind of with you, Adam, too.
Barely. Who needs this?
That one I'll probably watch though.
The Santa Claus one?
Yeah. Did you say it's a TV series? Limited series?
Yeah. Limited series.
Okay.
That's what it sounds like.
I wonder if they'll bring back anyone else.
It's a good question.
Because he has a wife and family in that series towards the end.
That's true. And Martin Short plays Jack Frost, at least in the third one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The great Martin Short.
Yeah. Maybe they'll bring him back.
We'll see.
That is oddly enough one of the roles that I think that's my heuristic role that I think of him in, is him as Jack Frost. It's like just the earliest time I've seen him.
Sure. Yeah.
That's one of the first roles I've seen him in. So that's kind of always what I go back to for him. Our next new announcement. We might as well just move on to Godzilla here, as we already kind of alluded to that earlier. Godzilla and Kaiju Monster TV series in the work from Legendary at Apple. So this is from the Star Trek Enterprise showrunners, it seems like. And then Robert Kirkman as well.
This is interesting because the Woz was also saying that Matt Fraction, who we've all talked about recently, is also writing this. Who did the Hawkeye series and had quite a hand in that development, I think, too. And then if you said Robert Kirkman as well, too?
I was mistaken, actually. I was going to correct myself. Chris Black did a Robert Kirkman series.
Got it. Okay.
Outcast. That's where I mixed it up here. But yes, no, Matt Fraction is confirmed to be on for that.
Yeah, I'll be very interested in this. I'll be also interested where they set it. Like, do they think it'll be like in the 70s? Because it's dealing with Monarch, they were saying, which is the kind of like crew that looks after the Kaiju / Godzilla guys. They're the team.
Yeah, that's the team. That's kind of what I'm seeing here is more Monarch side of things than actual Godzilla side of things.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's an easier story to tell.
Exactly. They got to lease them from
easier
Tokyo.
Story to tell on a streaming service like that.
I'm in. Why not?
Sure.
Bring back King Ghidorah.
Why not?
That's all we want.
And Mothra.
Yeah, she's cool too.
Mothra's dope.
Yeah, Blake, you're a big Godzilla guy. Is this like a series finally that you think you could get behind?
Yeah, I mean, I think potentially. It certainly piques my interest, and I think that kind of says a lot with TV shows. Just because there's not too many of those that are that I find attractive. So yeah, I think it may be worthwhile. I might kind of see if I can hang around and see any reviews, or if anybody says, hey, it's got some good things going for it, then I think that's something I can get behind.
Fair enough. What's next on the Rocket docket, Adam?
Next up, Bong Joon-ho and Robert Pattinson teaming for Warner Bros. Sci-Fi movie.
I'm in. Say no more, fam.
Bong Joon-ho, of course, the director of 2019's Parasite, which won Best Picture. And
incredible
do I even
movie.
need to introduce Robert Pattinson? At this point, he's pretty well known.
Who?
Arbats?
Oh, Batman.
Yeah.
Robert Battenbat. Shout out Weekly Planet.
This sci-fi project is going to be based on Mickey 7, which is a not even released novel, apparently, from author Edward Ashton. And it's described as Andy Weir's The Martian meets Blake Crouch's Dark Matter.
All right, I've read The Martian.
Mickey 7. Yeah, I do love The Martian. It centers on Mickey 7, a man on an expedition to colonize the ice world Nilfheim. This expendable employee takes jobs too risky for anyone else, and when he dies, he regenerates as a clone with most of his memories intact. When Mickey 7 is presumed dead, he returns to the mission's base only to see that a new clone, Mickey 8, has already taken his place. The book will be published in the first quarter of this year by St. Martin and imprint of Macmillan. That's kind of an interesting thing that they're already announcing a movie for a book that hasn't been released yet. I don't feel like that happens too often.
It doesn't. It has happened in the past. All the President's Men.
Is that allowed?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, All the President's Men was one of those, and then.
But that's a little bit easier to do, just because that's not necessarily like this is a fiction story.
True.
You don't know how people are going to react to that. Whereas like that's a dramatic retelling. That's a little bit different.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Because people already knew that story. So yeah, this is. I'm not going to say a huge gamble because I think book to movie adaptations have obviously worked in the past. We know this. It's known.
Well, and Bong Joon-ho's done them in the past too.
Has he? Which one? Is Snowpiercer?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Snowpiercer is. If I'm not mistaken. And then Okja might be a short story or something like that.
I couldn't tell you.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure Snowpiercer is.
Gotcha. But that's cool. I mean, I'm down. I like Bong Joon-ho's. I like Parasite. I haven't seen Snowpiercer.
Oh, no, Snowpiercer is a comic book. It's a graphic novel.
Ah, that's what it is. Okay. But yeah, I like Bong Joon-ho. I like Arbats.
Yeah, I'm in. I'll definitely
in.
check this out.
I'm interested.
And then our last new project announcement for the week is one we had to talk about based on our conversation from last week. Degrassi revival Enrolls at HBO Max.
Did you say
so this
Rolls?
is
Are they bringing back
shortly-
Drake? Wasn't
What'd
he?
you say?
I said, did you say Rolls? Are they bringing back Drake? Isn't he in a wheelchair? Wasn't he like Jimmy Rolls or something
Wheelchair
like that?
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wheelchair. They haven't said anything about Aubrey coming back to reprise his role as Wheelchair Jimmy, but
Could
this-
you fucking imagine?
Yeah,
would be
right.
wild.
I would be surprised.
God.
I wouldn't
They would
be
get so
surprised
many
at this
views
point.
off that alone.
Right. Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would not
No
put
way
it out
he
of the
does
realm
that.
realm of possibility. Depends if he needs to be in the news or not that week.
Yeah, true.
True.
Maybe he's got an album dropping.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. That's the thing, though, for sure. Hop on there, then he's gonna release new music.
Yep.
Well,
For the
we'll
kids.
see.
Yeah.
Who cares?
yeah,
As Adam would say, just go watch Euphoria. Right.
Well, that was the next point I was going to mention. Is this news came shortly after like the first episode of Euphoria released last week, and I think it's almost a direct reaction to that. They acquired the rights and all 14 seasons of Degrassi: The Next Generation. So not only do they have this show announced, they have the rights for it, but they also are going to have all 14 seasons of Degrassi coming to HBO Max shortly.
Yikes.
But do we need Degrassi when we have Euphoria? Is my question. How different can they make it if they're trying to? If we already have Euphoria, that format and that genre, I feel like has evolved to what Euphoria is, and I think any other show that was trying to do that would probably just try to mimic what they're doing in a slightly different way, as we've seen done like with other shows or other concepts. But the fact that HBO Max, who already makes Euphoria, is now deciding they're going to bring back Degrassi, this feels like a move like Netflix would make in response to Euphoria, or like Hulu or Amazon Prime would make in response to a Euphoria, and instead it's HBO Max reviving a show that essentially will compete with their already a critically acclaimed
Their
show.
own show.
Yeah, like
Crossover. That's all I'm
that
saying.
just seems odd to me.
Crossover.
The crossover. It's all in the same universe.
Yeah.
The
bro.
old Degrassi multiverse.
The whole Degrassi cinematic universe.
Just you wait.
Man, we've been waiting for it. We didn't know we wanted it until we had it.
Calling it now.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up here for the news this week. Like I said, we're going to skip over the Moon Knight trailer, which I will just say, quick thoughts. Cool.
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm in.
Cool. I love Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, that premiered on. I was watching. Was that the Rams Cardinals game, or like something? And then it came
It was
up.
Monday
and I was
Night
like,
Football.
What the fuck? Yeah. That's what it was. It was the playoff game. I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, oh, that looks cool.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Sweet comic.
Yeah.
Have you read it?
I've read a couple of issues of a couple different ones.
Okay, gotcha. I just am most excited for Oscar Isaac. I love Oscar Isaac.
They got the right actor.
He's like my Florence Pugh almost. He's one of those for me.
Yeah.
I love anything he's in. Yeah, so that's a quick little trailer talk. We'll get into the Adam Schwartz's completely subjective new to streaming list for the week of
Best
January
list of the week.
16th through the 22nd. It is the best list of the week. And for those of you who do not know, the subjective new streaming list is all the movies I deem worthy of being watched this week that are coming to a streaming service near you.
Get into
that you're
it.
Now paying Netflix a little bit more for.
Gasp.
Bit of sizzle. To Netflix, you're getting Phantom Thread.
I do want to see that.
I have not seen it. I've heard it's actually incredible.
Yeah, I've been thinking about going in on
on.
Paul Thomas Anderson recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might like start. I've been thinking about this a lot recently. Maybe I'll start like doing directors and just like starting from like their start of their career and then kind of watch all their stuff. But just because I'm looking for more things to watch at the moment.
I've also thought about doing that.
But yeah, I'll probably watch this one. I'm in.
Cool. And then we're also getting Ozark season 4 part 1. So the first 7 episodes of season 4, the final season, are dropping, I believe, on the 22nd. So if you are looking forward to that, which you should be, and if you're not looking forward to that, you should be. Go watch the first 3 seasons. They're great. That's it for Netflix. Amazon Prime isn't getting anything. Hulu has the first 2 episodes of How I Met Your Father out. And that's also how I know we've been doing this podcast for a long time, because I remember reporting on that like maybe a year ago, and now it's here. So
I remember us talking about that too.
Yeah, and now it's here. It's alive. That's it for Hulu. HBO Max, nothing coming there. Disney Plus is getting The World According to Jeff Goldblum Season 2, Batch 2. So I guess the second half of Season 2.
Sounds like it.
Yay.
Cool. Good for Jeff Goldblum, man.
Out here doing things.
Yeah, doing things.
Life
Star Wars
finds a way.
Life finds a way.
Star Wars, The Book of Boba Fett, Episode 4. And then Assemble, The Making of Hawkeye, another one of those behind-the-scenes series.
For sure.
About how they made the TV show. And there you have it. That's your lineup for this week, your new to streaming list. Tyler, upon there was Book of Boba Fett. Are you keeping up? And if so, what are your thoughts?
I sure am. Boy, do I have thoughts.
Do you need a little spoiler segment here? I can remove myself.
Has anybody else caught up?
I am caught up.
Adam, do you care if we talk?
Go for it. Why don't you guys wave to me when you guys are good?
Okay, I just got a couple things that I got to get off my chest.
Go for it. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Book of Boba Fett. Like someone like myself, potentially someone like Blake who hasn't seen any Star Wars. Go ahead and I'll do a timestamp. Why the fuck not?
I played the spoiler sound.
Yeah, check the episode description. Jump over the fucking thing. You got it. Go ahead, Todd.
Hey.
So
good episode, but like, what the fuck are these bikes?
So you are not
so fucking mad.
You're not the first person to bring up these speeder bikes to me that look like
so
50 scooters.
Fucking pissed.
I loved them. I'm all in on them.
Oh my god, that's so stupid. They look corny as fuck.
Like
it's just totally against what like everything has kind of been going on, and like it's not Star Warsy. And then
I think it is.
Now I get, because like episode 4 I watched and there's like a fucking rip doctor. I'm like, what the fuck is going?
Yeah. They definitely.
So I'm like, cool. So whoever's doing this is just like also taking a bunch of notes from like Cyberpunk.
Oh, is that like a thing that they have there? Oh.
And he's got like a robotic arm and everything, and he's like doing all the things that they're doing, and there's like this techno music going on in the background.
See, I didn't know that. I did not play Cyberpunk at all, but
oh my god, it's so fucking funny. And there's like and he's like putting in like her stomach, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
This definitely feels much more Robert Rodriguez than like any of the other stuff that they've kind of done so far. But I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I thought it was cool. Like the bikes didn't really bother me, because like they immediately brought me back to the episode 2. When they go meet Dexter Jettster and he's in that weird 50s diner. And, like, that's just more of that kind of style that was out there. But, yeah.
Sure, but, like, why do they all have fucking 12 mirrors on them?
That I don't know. But
dude,
well, you don't have normal roads in Star Wars. You got to be aware at all times. Ship could be coming in or something like that.
Dude, go back, rewatch it, and just literally all mirrors down the handlebars. There's like fucking 6 mirrors on each side, and I'm like, what is going?
That's awesome. No, I'm in. I like them.
I just hate the design of them. Overall, I'm still in on the episodes. I like the way that they're always kind of going back to his past and kind of what he's been going through over the last couple of years, and how they're trying to progress the story through that. And kind of the little flashbacks are interesting. So I'm not mad at the show at all. I'm just me being nitpicky.
Yeah, I do know that like a couple different other Star Wars fans that I've talked to have really kind of had some problems with it. And I should note for this that I didn't really have any kind of background too much on Boba Fett besides just what's in the movies and that kind of stuff. Like, I didn't really read much of the old Star Wars things or anything like that. So I think from that perspective, I'm a little bit more forgiving in that kind of thing. But I know some people have definitely had kind of issues with it. But I've been having a ball, for sure. All right, Adam, you can come back.
All right. He said, "Wave your hand, frantically wave your hands."
We good?
You good?
Y'all seem to be enjoying yourself.
I thought it was fun.
Interesting combo.
Yeah, Blake, what are your thoughts?
Haven't even watched a single episode. I do miss this segment where like I would have to guess.
Oh,
like,
if it was a real thing.
Or it was complete bullshit, or if it actually happened.
Two truths and a lie.
Yeah, we might have to bring that back.
Yeah, I might have to bring that back.
Once I catch up, maybe I'll catch up this weekend. We'll see. Anyway,
Tyler, what else you
been watching? Yeah.
You want me to just hop into what I've been going on?
Nah, just keep going, Tyler. Let them rip.
So I've had some time off, so I've gotten some chances to watch some stuff. Leah and I had crushed the season 2 of Cheer, just like obliterated it. Yeah. Good? So I actually really enjoyed myself.
Good.
And they actually do go into like what happened to that kid.
Really?
Bro, his like there's interviews of like the kids.
No way.
Bro, it's crazy. There's a whole episode just called Jerry.
No way.
Yeah. And they go like they go into everything.
They just full on address it.
Dude, they interview the kid's mom.
That's wild.
Bro, it was
insane.
Wild. It was insane.
Dude, honestly though, props for them for doing that.
Yeah.
Props for that, because that, I mean, if you're trying to do real documentary stuff like that is part of the story.
Dude, it was like
I could like and props to Netflix for letting them do that, because that 100% just felt like something they were just not going to address.
No, it's in.
Good.
So,
awesome.
But yeah, I would recommend even if like you don't like cheerleading, and it's so competitive at this level, and it's so cool to like see the camaraderie.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, so we got to that, done with that. So Leah's been going to bed earlier and waking up earlier because she's getting back on track for school and all that stuff. So she actually started classes and clinicals this week again. So I've been like waking up super early and then like just watching a full blown movie before like 9 o'clock.
Okay, nice.
I do kind of like doing that sometimes. It's such a nice thing where you like get up, you have your coffee, and like the sun's coming in or something like that. Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
You remember how early I used to get up and play Valhalla for like 6 hours?
It's true. Yeah. Occasionally, like one of us would come out, and I'd just be like watching Dread or Last Samurai. I think one time, and Tyler's like, "Oh yeah," and then I'd come out, and Tyler would be like in the middle of some epic Viking battle, and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, Valhalla."
So I ripped through Harry Potter.
Oh yeah!
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
Oh dude, I did 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Well,
So
6, 1, 6, 2. Well, I had watched them previously.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I watched all of those. So that was a journey and a half.
What's your favorite?
Fun.
I had a lot of fun. I don't think I've watched those that closely to each other in a long time.
Oh, yeah, I used to like watch them like once a year.
Yeah,
I was a big Harry Potter fan.
I get to them, I would say, fairly often. I would probably like once every 2 years, they're really spaced out. That was the first time that I hammered through those that
you marathoned them
close to each other. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite out of those?
What's 5? Is 5 the Half-Blood Prince?
Order of the Phoenix.
Order of the Phoenix was really good, but I think once you get to that 4 or 5 point, you can see obviously there was a budgetary jump.
Yeah.
And
it's
really cool like when you're done after like what is it, the decade?
Yeah. Yeah. Just seeing them from children to actual
just
adults.
See them grow up and everything like that, and it's pretty wild. But
you really do grow up with them.
Yeah, I was a little bit older than them, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I was their age. I don't really remember. But
you were probably actually around.
I was pretty close, I guess.
Maybe a little younger.
They're Tyler's age. They're like in between me and Tyler.
Yeah, Radcliffe is born in '89.
Yeah, so just barely older than me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really cool, and it was crazy to see like how young I was. Like I actually gained a lot more respect for it. I used to be like, I mean, Lord of the Rings will always be number one, but this definitely went up in my book. Watching it this close to one another, so
that's cool, man.
I was happy.
Cool.
Yeah. Obviously, we talked about Boba Fett, so I did episode 3 and episode 4. I got to the first episode of Wheel of Time, which is based off a series of books. They are long. You do have to pay attention. It is Game of Thrones level
plot.
Pay attentionness.
Sure.
Whatever you want to plug that word.
Yeah.
I got to Eternals, but it was more or less like on in the background. I was kind of doing stuff in the office, so didn't really pay attention to it. I really do want to do a full rewatch where I'm actually like sitting down and paying attention to it, and it's probably like out in the living room on the soundbar and stuff like that. Speaking of, I got to Snowpiercer. That was actually with Leah, so I was surprised she watched that. And you kind of forget how gory it is, but I actually enjoy that movie.
She did
so. She didn't mind it. I was actually surprised she got through as much. Like she got through the whole thing, and there was only a couple like, babe, what the fuck? Ew,
gross.
So
that's not too bad, man.
And then my last thing was I'm completely caught up in Peacemaker.
See, I've watched the first 3 of those. I did not watch today's yet.
Dude, they are hilarious.
They're very good.
That's John Cena, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could imagine that's pretty funny.
Bro, I think it's hilarious. If you just watch the intro,
the intro is incredible.
If you just go through the intro, that's exactly how Ryan Foley dances. And so like we all started talking.
I'm Ryan Foley.
We all started talking about it, and we were like, dude, you have to, like, if you don't cosplay this ever, we're gonna be so disappointed, because he's a shorter, kind of like stockier guy too, so he would actually fit this perfectly.
That'd be really good.
And then we were all kind of talking about that before I started it, and then I watched the intro, and I'm like, this is fucking Ryan.
Yeah,
like the way that he dances, that's how Ryan actually dances, and it's the funniest shit ever.
That's very funny.
I die every time I watch it. Eagly.
Yeah, Eagly's great.
So that's all I got. I got to quite a bit. And I'll just throw it over to Adam.
Well, my list is pretty short, just because this past week I finished working. Brother got engaged on Saturday, so congrats.
Congrats.
Yeah, that was fun. And then Halo tournament Sunday, and drove back Monday, and then started class Tuesday. So I haven't had much time to really catch my breath this past week or so. But I ended up going back to Euphoria. I did watch the first 2 episodes of the second season. Wow. So I watched the first 2 episodes of the second season, and then I'm gonna start going back and rewatching the first season, which I've already watched like the first episode and a half, and then I'm gonna plan on going all the way through. But this feels like a different show almost.
Really?
Almost immediately, it feels like a completely different show. And then once I finished the first 2 episodes of the second season, going back and then starting that first episode of the first season, I go, wow, it just feels way different in what they're trying to do, in how they're doing it. The first season definitely was explicit in its themes, but the second season just takes that to a whole nother level. And I don't know why. I don't know if they're just gonna go for the shock factor, because that's honestly what it feels like. There are things in here that don't feel purposeful in the sense that they're like doing it to push a theme or push a message in some way. They're kind of just doing it to do it. It feels like in some ways, or in some places, which I don't necessarily like, because it felt like the first season was so purposeful in what they wanted to say and
well
everything.
Thought out.
Yeah, well thought out, exactly. And this one just feels like they're expected to do that, and so they're just kind of going for it. At least that's how I felt so far. Directing wise, the first episode especially, kind of the same thing where it felt a little different, and it felt like they were expected to do something, fun and unique and cool. And so that, like, they kept doing these shots where and they were good. They were and I still enjoyed it, but again, it just felt a little heavy-handed where they were shots where they were single takes moving through like a party scene, basically.
Okay.
So you have single takes with characters going in and out of the frame in different places, and then the camera movement is like, over counters, through windows, in between people, like cool shots. But they did it multiple times to the point where I started to notice that they were doing it, and it felt like they did it like 3 or 4 times, these long takes in the first episode, maybe even more than that. I was like, it all feels a little heavy-handed. Like they know they're the shit, and they're trying to prove it, that kind of thing.
Got it.
And I wish, personally, so far in the season, I wish it was more closer to the first. I will, of course, finish the second season. But this is already, just the first 2 episodes have not only upped it a notch in that respect, but also it is starting to feel a little bit more like a Degrassi, where it's like they are changing plot lines just for the sake, exactly, for the sake of changing plot lines and having some drama, which is not the vibe I really got from the first season, and now it just feels like they're going to change it into that. So we'll see. I'm going to finish it out without a question, because I still did enjoy the first episodes, and as explicit as those themes, or as those themes were, they did get my attention. So
okay.
I will say that. Yeah, they did get my attention. But yeah, I enjoyed them overall, I would say. Looking forward to more. No one in that show looks like they're in high school.
That's been my my favorite meme so far recently. Has been like I go to Euphoria High School, and it's just people in like stripper clothes or whatever.
Yeah.
It's that. And
I've seen some of that stuff on Instagram.
Yeah.
Well, there's a new character in the second season, just straight up has like 4 or 5 face tattoos. I'm like, I have never seen a single high schooler that has face tattoos like that.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, come on, man. But it's good. It's still good. I'm enjoying it. Nathaniel, toss it over to you, man.
Okay. Yeah, so as referenced earlier, I have also seen the first 3 episodes of Peacemaker. If you watch the Suicide Squad, it's the same character. They've kept him going. Very James Gunn, very fun. I'm enjoying it. And then I also did Book of Boba. I've already kind of given my thoughts on that. Enjoying that as well. I watched Scream 2, 3, 4 as well to watch, preparing for the 5th one this week. I got to Marathon Man, which I don't know if anyone here has seen. Yeah, so it's a movie from the 70s, I want to say. Dustin Hoffman and Laurence Olivier as well. Kind of just an insane story. So I'll read the IMDb summary here. After the shocking murder of his older brother, a New York history student finds himself inexplicably hounded by shadowy government agents on the trail of a Nazi war criminal who is trying to retrieve smuggled diamonds. So, if that interests you, definitely check it out. Really, really good. More of kind of like that 70s noir or neo-noir kind of style to it. Laurence Olivier is obviously very, very good. Dustin Hoffman's very, very good. Roy Scheider plays the older brother, who he's one of my favorite actors. Big Jaws fan, obviously. Yeah, definitely worth a watch. I think that's on HBO Max if you're looking for kind of a pretty decent crime, kind of cool 70s R-rated thriller. Definitely out there. Watch more episodes of Gamey Game on YouTube. That's a review show about games that I've talked about before. Very funny. Good time. Went back in on The Wire. So got a few more episodes into that. That's just that show's incredible, man. Like it is so good in every episode.
It takes time though.
It does. It does. But like I think I'm like episode 6 or 7 now. So they're starting. Like they just made an arrest. They just arrested Bird. So they
okay.
So like things are starting to happen. Omar is contributing a little bit more. They're starting to make a little bit of progress on like the case and stuff. And like you're starting to see characters just from like scene to scene and how they're changing and stuff. That's some of the great things in that show is just the character development and the way that you see characters work with each other and have their own motivations and watching as the situation changes and what those motivations become and everything. It is top notch work. So Blake's talked about it on the podcast before. If you haven't seen The Wire, definitely go out and watch it. It's one that I watched, like I said, like the first 5 or 6 episodes maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and now I'm back and watching 7, 8, 9, and you don't even feel like you miss anything. So definitely an easy one to watch and go back to. Speaking of things coming back and going back to, Righteous Gemstones is back. I think there's 3 or 4 episodes out now. I'm 1 behind, I want to say.
So really quick on that, I am gonna go back and rewatch the first season and watch the second. I started watching the first episode of the first season again the other night and fell asleep watching it.
So. Oh wow, okay.
But that is on the docket.
Fair enough. I think second season I'm not as in on yet, but I think can definitely bring me back around. The first season has kind of like a mystery at the heart of it too, which I think was a little bit more compelling, but this is definitely going to be interesting for sure, and it's still funny, worth a watch for sure. But yeah, other than that, I also got to the Tragedy of Macbeth, which was the Denzel Washington, Frances McDormand adaptation of Macbeth that just came out on Apple TV. That's also directed by and adapted by Joel Cohen of the Coen brothers.
Oh, really?
Yes. So very stylized, very worth the watch, especially if you like Shakespeare. I'm an English student, so I do enjoy Shakespeare quite a bit. And yeah, I really liked this adaptation and performance. So definitely worth the watch if you have Apple TV and you like Shakespeare. But other than that, I got to Scream 5. So Blake, finish us off and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Didn't have a ton. Had another week of travel, so looking forward. I don't think I have to travel for the next 2 weeks, so that'll be cool. So what I end up watching on flights and laying in a hotel is Scream 2, 3, and 4. Exactly what Nathaniel did. So yeah, that was good. Then obviously ended up watching 5 in theaters. But yeah, so that was cool just to kind of revisit that series, and I wanted to kind of get in that zone of Scream.
Absolutely.
So did that. Nice to kind of deep dive and just see the different horror references throughout the years. That kind of correspond with that respective year Scream is released, if that sentence makes any sense.
No, I'm with you.
I followed that, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's kind of what I got to. And then I did shout out Waz. I logged into his Vudu. I went to watch Interstellar, and that movie is fucking long as hell. So I totally just forgot when I started watching it. And I didn't end up finish it. So that's one I'm going to see if I can finish this week, or I'll probably just restart it at an adequate time and finish it, because that movie's awesome. And I haven't seen it since theaters. So it was pretty much like a brand new watch, because that movie's like, what, 2014 or something like
14,
that.
15.
Yeah, so haven't seen it in a while, so definitely it's like a new watch. So that's what I got to.
Out of the
big Scream fan. So
yeah, out of the Scream sequels, did you have a favorite of 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah, I think I'd have to rank. Out of 2, 3, and 4, I think I'd have to rank probably 4, 2, 3.
Okay.
Maybe 2, 4, 3. 4 and 2 are really close.
Okay.
I got 3 at the bottom though, for sure.
See, like I'm definitely with you, but 3 this time rewatching it, I was like, this movie is so insane and so funny and like cool, weird. Yeah. There's so many just weird cameos that are in it. Rewatching it with Waz, he was just like, what is happening here? And I was like, just wait, man, it just gets more.
Yeah.
It's such a weird little time capsule of a movie.
It is weird. Right at the turn of the millennium too. For 2000. But yeah, that's weird. The one that always gets me is that they just completely remit. It's just different, man. I forgot, what are they on, like Stab 6?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's just
all the way up to
weird.
Stab 8.
Yeah, it does go up to Stab 8.
Yeah, and they completely remade the house from the first movie,
Yeah.
like in the Stab movie.
Yeah,
It's like you said, the movie's nuts, but it's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I'm in.
You got to give them the credit for it. Yeah, not a bad movie by any means.
Cool. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yes,
I guess
sir.
that means we can move on into the main review segment here. Before I toss it to Nathaniel to, give us the rundown, I do want to apologize for the abrupt ending to last week's episode and last week's review. We had a situation at the, Back Row headquarters that we had to take care of. That
security breach.
Yeah, security breach, exactly. All of our Craze fans got in, and they charged it like it was Area 51, and we really had no defense. Anyway, we had to cut last week's episode. Don't really know if we want to go over the Entropy list ranking. Where did it fall exactly? Because there was talk of us like kind of rehashing what our thoughts were really quick to explain the
Yeah, because I didn't even think of where it ended up at. 22? Okay.
22, below The Conjuring, above Boys in the Hood, which I like.
Yeah, I'm with it there.
Place.
I forgot where we each had it individually. I forgot where I had it.
I had it up high at like 14 or something. I think Ty were both.
You had it the highest. I think I had it ended up having it the lowest, maybe. But I don't remember exactly where.
Fair.
Somewhere in the 30s. Anyway, yeah, that came in at 22. But yeah, we just kind of wanted to apologize for everything that happened last week. It was a very abrupt ending. There was no good way for me to cut the audio in a way that made sense. So I just kind of cut it where I could and filled in what I did. Yeah, so just a little disclaimer on that one. We apologize for that. We hope you guys enjoyed the review regardless. That being said, Nathaniel, if the listener here is new, or maybe they've just forgotten, can you give us a rundown of how the review segment works?
What up, folks? Here's your rundown. If you have forgotten, or if you are a new listener, the way that our review segment works, it is broken up into two sections. There's the non-spoiler section and then the spoiler section. In the non-spoiler section, we'll go into the IMDb summary, who wrote it, who directed it, some of the cast, give our initial kind of thoughts about everything, whether we liked it or not. At the end of the non-spoiler section, we will come to a decision. Would we recommend this movie? Yes or no. Has to be yes or no. There is no nuance on the internet. From then on, it's going to be full spoilers all the time. Full spoilers. And we'll go into our deeper thoughts, any big spoilers in the movie. Obviously, this one's going to be one where you find out who the killers are and all that good stuff. So if you have seen the movie and want to stick around for that, please do. If you haven't seen the movie yet, please still stick around, because we will play the spoiler sound again. Come back and see where it ranks up on our Entropy list, which is our big list of everything we've watched on the podcast ranked. With that being said, Adam, tell me about Scream 2022.
I would love to. This is a new Scream movie, the fifth one in the franchise, but there is really no V anywhere.
Yeah, it is weird, isn't it? I thought for sure they would extend the M and make it a V.
That's exactly what I was
like, it's right there, right?
Right? It's right in front of you. But no, this is just called Scream, reclaiming the original title. And you can kind of just distinguish it by the year it was released. It's rated R with a runtime of 1 hour and 54 minutes and an IMDb rating of 7.2 out of 10, which if I had to guess, is a lot higher than most people thought it was going to be.
I would agree.
Yeah, I like the movie. I didn't think it'd be a 7.2. What'd you say, 7.2?
7.2.
Yeah, that's pretty high for horror movies, as we've kind of gone on here to discuss
Especially
a lot.
A sequel of this kind.
Yeah, I think anything above like 6.8, you're getting that pretty good movie.
But I think it speaks to the power of the franchise. The people. Right. It seems like people have kind of come back to this and been like, "Oh yeah, I like these characters. I'm here to see them again." I've heard a lot of positive word of mouth so far.
Yeah, me too. The directors are Matt Bettinelli Olpin and Tyler Gillette, or Gillette, either one. Those are the directors of VHS and Ready or Not, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, they also have a co-writer, or they have a writer, James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick, I want to say. They do most of their stuff. I think collectively they're known as Radio Silence. But a lot of times you'll see them credited as Radio Silence as well. They've done like kind of short movies and stuff like that before too, but they've been kind of working on the edges of horror for a little while, like with the VHS stuff and everything.
Mm-hmm. Do you know which VHS segment they did? Because remember, I told you I watched the Night House the other week, and I already forgot the director's name. Pardon me, I don't have it pulled up. But he did the first VHS segment.
So I want to say they did either the last one. I think they might have done the last bit. Or they
did. That the alien? Is that the alien one?
No. They did. No, that's in the second one. The haunted house. The haunted house that they go to.
Oh yeah. That is the end of the first one. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one was them.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the better ones in VHS too.
For sure. Yeah, they're definitely guys that like know their way around horror, as we see in this movie, I think, and Ready or Not too. I really enjoyed Ready or Not. I think it's a fun movie. So.
Yeah. That's a good one too. I like it. In-Laws.
Yeah, In-Laws. They're hell.
The cast, of course, is Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, Melissa Barrera, Marley Shelton, Jenna Ortega, Dylan Minnette, Jack Quaid from The Boys, of course.
Boys.
Jasmine Savoy Brown and Sonia Amar. And Mickey, I think, Madison. Mason Gooding. Those are like, the cast is actually pretty big now that I'm reading all these names out.
Yeah,
I think that's where it kind of ends, though.
There's kind of the core group, obviously.
Yeah. So we're going to leave it at that. So yeah, you have your returning characters and some new ones as well. The IMDb summary reads as follows. 25 years after the original series of murders in Woodsboro, a new ghost face emerges, and Sidney Prescott must return to uncover the truth. I don't like that at all. Don't like that at all.
I don't mind it.
It's just not. No, I don't. I have to say more in spoilers.
Yeah, right.
But it has to do with the whole Sidney Prescott part at the end.
I think
she's just not in it as much as that summary alludes to.
Yes, I would. I don't think that's a spoiler to say. If you're coming to this movie expecting it to be all about Sidney and Gale and Dewey at this point, you've had 4 other movies of that. They're kind of moving it on past that to kind of like Halloween 2018. I think is a good example where they have kind of a newer cast on there as well too. That's kind of picking up where the old ones left off for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
But what are our thoughts here, guys? I mean, this is obviously a new viewing for all of us. I'm going to toss it over to Nathaniel and Blake first here, since they are the biggest Scream fans, I would say.
Yeah, I'll kick it off. I mean, I kind of went on record. Was that last week when I said I wasn't too heavily anticipating this one, or I didn't have too big of expectations? But honestly, it was better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you. Yeah. So... yeah, pleasantly surprised. But then when you look back at who's the director, and then I do like Ready or Not, I do like 3 of the 4 VHS movies. Obviously, Radio Silence. I believe they've only done the first one, but that's probably the best VHS movies. But yeah, certainly liked it. I don't know, man. They have a fucking Hereditary reference in the movies. I was sold on that.
Within like the first 5 minutes, too.
Yeah. We were talking about like, I wonder what movies they're going to reference in this, right? And the first one we got was the Babadook. And then after that, we got Hereditary, It Follows, and The Witch. Yeah. And I was like, that's all I needed to hear. 7 out of 10. And so I'm cool with this movie, man. I like it. Really, yeah. We'll jump more into spoilers, but yeah, that's my quick thoughts.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll pick it up here. I guess I think my expectations were about right with where I was expecting, which was good because I had moderately high expectations. I think I felt like after hearing that the Ready or Not guys were doing this one, I was like, that's a really, really good choice for this franchise. I feel like the tone fit well for them. So yeah, I enjoyed it as well. It reminded me a little bit of like your Force Awakens, or like I've referenced Halloween 2018 in some ways, where it's kind of the original story again, but new cast, I shouldn't say story, original premise. Again, I should say they're back in high school and they're in Woodsboro again. Their slashers are around, Ghostface is around, and he's killing teenagers.
Right.
Thought the performances were all good from the cast. Anytime the core three were on screen, I think that's definitely, it's just awesome. It's just really nice to see those characters again. I don't know if I talked about it on pod, but it is just really nice that we're 5 movies into this and we do have those same 3 core characters, which you don't really get in horror franchises very often, obviously. And it's just cool that they've been able to do this. I think they're very lucky that Wes Craven was around to direct the first 4, and kind of guide the franchise in that way. And I think this is a worthy sequel for sure. So I'm going to say I'm a recommend. I'll just say it right now, folks. Definitely a recommend.
Wow.
Ty?
Out there early with the recommend. Ty, do you want to go?
Yeah. Overall, I was pleasantly, I guess I wouldn't really say surprised. I didn't really know what to think when I was going in, but overall, the nice thing that they did with this, that they kind of did with the first one more than everything else in between, is these movies know exactly what the fuck they are.
Right.
And they're fun, and they make fun of themselves by doing so. And you still get Ghostface, where he's kind of easy to beat, and he still makes like those like grunts that like you would make if you got hit with like a freezer door. Like, so like it's pretty funny. And the fact that they still kept 2, which I guess kind of a spoiler, not really a spoiler. But it's really cool. I think they did a really good job. Kind of hopefully, I think, closing this one out. So I'm a recommend.
Tyler, you've seen the sequels, yeah?
I have, yeah. It's been a long time, but I have.
And Adam, you went directly from 1 to 5.
1 to 5, baby. we let it rip. And I was talking with Nathaniel and Waz. We saw it all together.
Yeah, we didn't bring that up.
We got out of the theater here. Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, we didn't. Me, Nathaniel, and Waz, friend of the pod, all went and saw it together before I headed back to school. And as I was talking with them after the movie, as much as I think of this, I would have enjoyed this movie more if had I seen the sequels. I still feel like I knew what was happening, could kind of bridge the gaps. And it didn't take away my enjoyment too much. I feel like, again, I would have enjoyed it more had I seen the sequels.
Sure.
But that being said, not seeing the sequels, I still enjoyed it. So, and that's a good sign, I think. I think that's a really good thing, because not everyone's going to have time to go watch all 4 of these before the movie comes out, or some people are not going to watch all 4 of them in general. Maybe just the first one, maybe none of them. But the fact that it kind of holds up on its own, and they don't do anything that is too specific in references that you can't kind of make up on your own,
right,
to kind of alienate anybody, was good. There was definitely some things where it maybe took me a second to catch up with, where I wasn't sure about the reference at first, but then I kind of realized later on, like, oh, this is what that is. So stuff like that, but that's going to happen regardless. As far as the movie on its own goes, I think it does a really good job of kind of paying homage to the sequel and paying respects to it as for like what it did when it originally came out, and the kind of changing what it did for when it originally came out to 2022. Like changing all the material of it.
Sure.
To be relevant to how movies are today, because obviously it's very self-aware and self-conscious about movies, specifically horror, more than anything, but even just movies in general, kind of having commentary on there. And they gave you a lot of specific references to modern day movies that I really appreciated.
A very pointed reference to a movie that I think this movie's kind of about, actually. But we'll talk about that in spoilers a little bit.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely recommend it on my end, especially if you're a fan of any of the originals. So I can confidently say that. Is that a recommend all around?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want on record, I'm a recommend.
I'm a recommend for sure.
All right, cool. I believe that is going to be a recommend from the entire squadron here. So we're going to go ahead and head into spoilers. If you have not seen Scream 2022 and do not want it spoiled for you, go ahead and check the episode description where I've left a timestamp you can jump to, where you'll be taking to our ranking of the movie upon the Entropy list.
Up upon. Tyler's not here right now, so I'll do another one. Up upon. There we go.
Spoilers.
Shit goes
down. I'll do one for Ty. Shit goes down.
There we go. We're all here together.
I don't know where you guys want to start here. There's a lot to kind of cover in spoilers, honestly.
I'll start with.
Yeah, I mean,
I was saying.
Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure this movie is about The Last Jedi.
Okay. They did have the Star Wars reference. They did have the Halloween 2018 reference.
And they talk about Stab 8, and they're like, oh, well, it was this really, like... And that becomes the motivation for the killers, is that, like, they don't like what they did with Stab 8, which Last Jedi is the 8th one in the Star Wars series. And earlier on, they're like talking about who directed it, and he's like, someone says like, oh, the Knives Out guy directed Stab 8 too, which is Rian Johnson as well.
That was funny.
So I was like, oh yeah, like this is just about Last Jedi kind of, because the killers are upset that the 8th one took it away from what the franchise is, so they're all trying to like restart the killings basically, so they will remake the 8th or 9th movie to start the franchise up again, and they can like bring it back to the original. I thought that was really kind of clever and a good area to go 100%. With the meta narrative that is always kind of present in the Scream films for sure.
Right.
But yeah, that was my big kind of point, I guess. I was just shocked that they just like boldly were like, yeah, this is about Rian Johnson, or almost referenced Rian Johnson strictly. Yeah. But so what did you guys pick the killers early on? Because I like knew the Mikey, the girl, immediately. I was she just keyed me in.
Amber.
Yeah, or yes, the friend.
Ashley,
yeah, her name's Amber, but the actress is Mikey Madison or whatever that we were talking about. Mikey.
Mickey, something like that.
But
I was, it's funny. I kind of kept going back and forth. Where the two original killers I picked out were her and Richie.
Oh, okay.
Boyfriend.
And Richie, for the most part, I was like pretty sure throughout the whole movie. I was like, this guy's so fucking sus.
Yeah.
And so I kind of knew Richie the whole time. The Amber one I kept going back and forth on, not because I didn't think it was her, because they did give me a few times where it was like, oh, this is, it's maybe it is this person. Like, even though I was pretty sure, they did do a good job of like throwing me off a little bit, even though I already had kind of an idea.
There wasn't for a loop. I can't think of her name, but the girl, the chick with the colored hair. They threw you for the loop that it may be her opposed to Amber.
Liv.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm with you. I think we were all just kind of aware of that stuff. But we've all seen Scream movies, so
right?
Exactly.
And
the boyfriend, you're like, he's fucking for sure one of the
100%.
Like that's so funny. I didn't get that one. It like actually like reversed normal movie trapped me, where I was like, that's Jack Quaid. He's a pretty big star. He'll probably come back in later. Then I was like, no, it's Scream. He won't. They won't do that. So
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
kind of like a Drew Barrymore type thing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
too smart for my own good. But
I think you got a point. He was my first guess, and then it's definitely solidified it when they're at the hospital and he gets cut on the arm.
Yeah, classic.
And that's when I was like, okay, he's for sure one of the killers.
Gotcha.
That was maybe like an hour in. And then I kind of had a hunch about Amber. I hope her name is Amber. Is it Amber or Ashley?
It is Amber.
Okay. Just off, I guess, kind of Nathaniel's idea too. And I don't know the exact term you always use, but just like the biasness you have when you've seen other movies. And with her just being like a fucking psycho and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I was like, she may be one of the killers, And she was probably my favorite character in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, to be completely honest with you.
That's so funny, because it's funny that you bring that up, because I spent the whole movie being like, I know that girl from something.
Yeah, it took me a while too, to be honest.
And then it wasn't until she was
quarters through.
Well, you got it quicker than I did, because it wasn't until she was lit on fire and was screaming around the house. I was like, that's where she's from. She's from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. I enjoyed that bit quite a lot too. That is one thing I like about this movie too. Scream always does this too, and they always do it pretty good. They make the violence like kind of like over the top, so it sticks out more to you. It like you're sitting there, you're having a good time, you're watching, you're kind of laughing with it along, and then they'll go like very violent. You're like, oh yeah, we're in a slasher movie here, guys.
Yeah,
someone's guts are suddenly on the table.
Man.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. This one went really fucking hard on all that gore. I don't know if you saw me in the theater, Nathaniel, but I was squirming a bit. Like I was watching the whole time, but it's just like uncomfortable for me to watch.
Really,
there were a few kills in there, especially the one where he like just slowly goes into the throat and then it holds that shot for a long time. It just holds the shot of the knife in the throat. I'm like, I don't need to be watching this.
Wasn't
right
that
now.
the nephew or whatever? The isn't that Randy's boy?
One was Dylan.
Oh, that's who I'm thinking of. Okay, yeah. Because I know
up against the door, and you can see the knife like halfway in his neck, halfway out.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of. That's who I was getting confused with. Because the one twin also survives at the end, which I didn't expect.
Oh, they both did.
Yeah, they both come back. Yeah.
Now I think that might have been my
cooked.
That bit where she's watching the movie and
with Randy,
behind you, with Randy, behind you, and she's doing the same thing, and then for a second I thought she was actually just gonna die from that, and I was like, that would be so stupid because she's the one that is constantly being aware of all the tropes, and then I like how she does realize at the last second, oh fuck, I should actually probably turn around. I thought that was a good bit.
Yeah, the cool thing I do like about that is because in that scene, or even just that whole house party scene, is like they're not watching the original Scream, they're watching Stab too, or whatever it is, and it's just so cool, man. Like when you like notice stuff like that, it makes you like the movie so much more.
Yeah, it's just that I think these movies are a little bit unique in that way, and that they are movies about movies, but now they've become a franchise in and of themselves, and that they are like that's 3 levels deep basically of narrative that you're going through that you know and completely understand just because you've been there along the way. Or like Adam, they make it clear enough for you as a person that's only watched the first one and now the 5th one to follow along too. So I mean, that's, I think, again, just reminiscent of strong filmmaking. And this is the kind of stuff that we talk about all the time. These are the things that we enjoy, when it's clear, smart, understandable, purposeful filmmaking.
I will say I was a little confused in the opening scene when he started asking her questions about the Stab movies, and then I quickly caught on. Sure. Stab must be this movie, this universe's
right.
Scream.
Yeah, that's because that's so funny.
You haven't seen the other movies.
Yeah, it doesn't come in until the second one, and then it becomes such a big part of the series. Yeah.
So that took a second. That was one of those, and then also she had a vision of Billy in the mirror or something like that.
Yeah. So
how did you guys like that?
That also
like
threw me
her being his daughter.
And I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of where I was guessing. Originally going in, I thought they were going to actually go with Stu's family rather than Billy's. I didn't predict them like touching Billy's at all, but and that is one thing I do wish this one did more with Stu's family. That was kind of like just a throwaway thing, but where was I going with this? I remember watching the 3rd one, and Sydney is having visions of her mom in the 3rd one. And so when she started having visions of Billy, I was like, okay, like, because I was rewatching the 3rd one, I was like, that's such a weird thing to introduce and then just never bring up again. And then and then when they started doing it in this one, I was like, oh, okay, so they're actually going to keep that part of like this universe now, that sometimes people just have visions of other people, but
like
whatever.
Psychic powers. Yeah. I'm with you. I thought the same thing rewatching them. But yeah, I like it, man. Like I said, pleasantly surprised. So much better than fucking Halloween Kills. Like, if you put it in like that perspective.
Right.
100%. Yeah.
I do put this a lot closer to the 2018 Halloween, though. Like, I think there's a lot of spiritual, connectedness between those two movies.
Yeah, definitely. And I think they even had a Halloween 2018.
They did,
because they were talking about using the original movie with the same name.
You're right.
I forgot what the exact line was, but yeah, like
is that the requel bit that she's talking about it, where she introduces
I
requel?
love the term requel. I haven't heard of that before, but I think that is perfect, and I'm gonna start using it now because
and they're like fans are what do they say? They're like fans are questionable on the term.
Undecided.
Undecided. I think that's what she says.
But yeah, this movie's it's awesome, man. I've only seen one Scream movie in theaters, which was Scream 4 outside of this. And it just like makes you realize like, man, like this is like the ultimate like horror theater movie.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Because
sure.
like I'm watching this in theater with presumably other people who enjoy horror as well. It's like you're just like everyone's just like laughing at the references and things of that nature. And it's an awesome movie theater movie, man.
I went alone.
Was there anybody in the crowd though?
Yeah, there were other people, but nobody in my row, and it was in the Dolby theater, so like I literally felt like I was sitting there by myself. But it was cool. It was loud as shit.
This is also loud.
Yeah,
the Dolby theater's just cranked.
Yeah, man, it's just cool. You know, like when the other thing I really enjoyed too is. Again, this plays back to like my one and only best statement about this movie is it knows exactly what it is and what it wants to be. And I know we say that a lot, but my favorite part of how this does that is particularly, I think you're in the house with Dylan and there's a lot of the old school, you open a door and you do the jump scare and you close the door. They do that constantly with like every kill. Which was pretty cool because you think it's going to happen on every kill, and then sometimes they actually do get you. And I thought that it was pretty cool because they do it almost constantly. I think in that house scene, there was like maybe 5 times they tried to do it within like 30 seconds.
And then he's
like,
just behind him.
Awesome. Yeah. You just don't know when it's going to come. So it was really cool. That was probably one of my favorite parts about the movie. It's just smart, dude.
Yeah, that was a fun scene.
What were you guys' favorite kills?
Favorite kill. That kill with that knife going through like his jugular was pretty cool. And I thought it was you could tell that it was obviously fake, but I think they did a pretty good job with it overall. Man, I don't know if that's my favorite though. Actually, you know what? I think that just whole scene because he gets his mom and him.
That's true.
And that bit
where she's driving back,
come up the porch. Yeah, and he's just and I was like, yeah, that was pretty smart.
She's doing a really good bit with the asking him not to kill the kid and everything. Like, feel like that was like a really emotional beat that Scream doesn't go into too often.
Yeah,
like as a franchise, that's a good call. Good call.
I saw that. I liked the kill on her because he pops out from behind the bush on the doorstep, but I like saw it coming because I was like she's just getting baited right now, 100% getting baited. But it was a great reveal, and I like how they killed both of them because I feel like in at least the other Scream, I don't know about the sequels, but it was always you only usually got one at a time, so I wasn't expecting him to actually kill both characters there.
Double kill.
Now the lady cop who dies and her son Dylan, is she introduced in the 4th one? Nathaniel?
Yeah, she's a deputy in Dewey's department in the 4th one. Yeah.
Every time I hear the term lady cop, I just think of Lil Wayne's song.
Yeah, I thought of that too as soon as I said it.
Mrs. Officer.
That's funny as hell. So
literally all the time.
But yeah, man. Favorite kill, I think the Dylan one is good. I mean, the Dewey one is pretty gruesome. Where he's just like,
that is a pretty good one. Like, 2 knives too, one in the back. Yeah, dude, that was a really good one. That's a good call.
Yeah, I'd probably pick that one.
He was a man marked for death early on in this movie. I was like, okay, we're losing Dewey in this, but that's fair.
Poor Dewey.
I thought they had a really actually good send off with him and Gail too. Obviously, they are no longer together, so it makes it kind of tough to make the movies which the characters are supposed to be together. But I thought that was pretty well handled overall too.
Yeah.
And quick shout out to Nev Campbell.
Oh yeah, that's like what I say after the movie.
Like she just got off the set of Scream 1.
Dude, I was like, she's aged 15 minutes between films.
Yeah, that was crazy too.
She looks so good.
Literally, that's like almost
Courtney Cox on the other hand.
26 years.
I was about to say you could see the comparison with Courtney Cox.
That was a rough. Yeah,
I had Leah watch the preview, and she was like, "She looks old."
I was like, Cox.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got to be. How old do you think Courtney Cox is?
Well, I think she is older than Nev Campbell.
40s, maybe 50.
She's 57, man.
Yeah, so
she's pushing late 50s.
That's up there then.
Yeah, Nev Campbell's 48.
Put in perspective.
I want to say.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to know their age difference. Yeah, she's 48 because in the original Scream they do play 10 years apart.
Yeah, that's true.
Essentially.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking of. I'm like, okay, how fair is this comparison here? So you know what? Let's check back in 10 years. I'm sure Nev Campbell probably look not much older, and then we can officially.
If anything's to go by,
you never know.
She is aging like wine, though, for sure.
All right, well, I think that's gonna do it for spoilers here, guys. So welcome back, listeners who decided to skip over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're gonna go ahead and rank Scream 2022 up upon the Entropy list.
Up upon. There we go. Tyler was back for that one. Oh, I think my Discord is doing its reboot time, folks. So that means we're going to pause for station identification. This is KYOT, the Coyote. Smooth Jazz.
Smooth Jazz. Thank you for tuning into KYOT, the Coyote. I'm assuming that's what you said.
I sure did. Yeah, I do hope. I hope we get big enough that we get taken off the internet for that one day.
Did.
I don't know where you guys last heard me on that spiel, but Entropy List is Back Row Banter's official list of every movie we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. This is essentially how we rate our movies, rather than do it out of 5 stars, out of 10, whatever it is. We go up and throw all the movies we review on a list and see how they compare to one another. If you'd like to reference the Entropy List for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description, where it is linked to my Letterboxd. Scream 2022, as we said earlier, Scream 1996 ranked in at 22, below The Conjuring, above Boys in the Hood. Just putting a random guess out there, I'm going to assume this stays below 22. I don't think this would be considered better than the original. I don't know if anyone's going to be that bold.
I don't think so, but it definitely it's not too far off, honestly.
True. Yeah, it ain't super far behind. I have my placing.
Throw it in there, bud.
44, below Die Hard, above No Time to Die. Because when I look at Die Hard, then I see The Conjuring, Frozen, The Strangers, Halloween, 2018. And it keeps going above that. All of those are movies I go, I really enjoy all of those. And then I look at No Time to Die, and I go Eternals, Black Widow, The Rock, Insidious, The Notebook, Tenet. All good movies, but I like Scream more than all of those, I would say. So I think 44 for me personally is a good in between a bunch of movies would rather watch and a bunch of movies below that I probably would want to watch less. I think that's, like, for me personally, the perfect in between on that one.
Anybody else want to take a stab at it?
I think I want to go 39 here.
So replacing Halloween 2018, huh?
Yeah, I think this is better than Halloween 18. The Strangers is hard.
Yeah.
I do like this better than Conjuring 2. Last Night in Soho and Quiet Place are kind of what I'm having a hard time getting past right now.
I think that's pretty fair.
The Strangers is so good.
Strangers is
right.
good.
It is
Right.
And it's not a part 5.
You're putting it above Frozen.
Well, I
know, but there's just a big stack of horror movies. There's 4 horror movies right there in a row.
I'm going to put this one at 41, right below The Strangers, right above Frozen. And I think it's not quite as good as Halloween 2018 to me. I think that's as about as good as you can do one of those sequel reboot kind of deals.
Prequels.
Sorry, the requel, and and I think this is just a hair below that for me. And I think The Strangers does just kind of slot in there as kind of Tyler was referencing. It is an original, story at that point, and
still a slasher as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say as kind of like a pair.
Slasher.
Yeah, I like that they're all together there, and so yeah, that's where I'm gonna put it. 41.
Yeah, I think. Where were you, Adam? You said 44.
44.
Yeah, I'll rock out with Adam. I'll go 44.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll go below Die Hard, above No Time to Die. The Conjuring 2 it's close. It's hard for me to put this over that.
Sure.
Yeah, that's tough.
I'll switch mine. I'll not that I guess I was like set in stone, but. Well, Nathaniel made some pretty good points, and Strangers. I was debating on whether or not Strangers is going to be something that's really hard for me. So I think I'm gonna do 41 there with Nathaniel.
So you're doing 41, and Nathaniel's 41. I only say son of a bitch because
44,
after doing
44.
the math for once we had no tie break, nothing. It was straight up just 42. We were not gonna have to argue at all, and now it's 42.5.
So above or below Die Hard?
I'm sure this has a higher rating than Conjuring 2, but the Conjuring 2 probably does have a sneaky high.
Conjuring 2 is good,
just because it's James Wan. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be above a 7.2.
Hey, I know we bring it up a lot, but the Entropy list is just a fucking bloodbath, man. It's
right.
We've covered some good movies on here,
dude. The Conjuring 2, guys. Where do you think?
Is it 7.2?
Where do you think it's at, man?
Don't tell me it's 7.2.
That'd be funny.
It is 7.3.
Oh, slightly better.
Just barely. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Oh, yeah. A lot of people like that, though. A lot of people say that's the best,
superior.
The best James Wan horror film.
Yeah, a lot of people like that better than the first one.
Yeah.
Some say that they like that better than the first one.
Some say
that Scream 2022 is slated at 43 then on the Entropy list, below The Conjuring 2 and above Die Hard.
That also does mean that The Conjuring 1 is right above Scream, and then The Conjuring 2 is right above Scream as well in the list.
Oh, is it really? Let me see.
Oh, that is fun.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And then Scream 6 is going to be right behind Conjuring 3.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to that movie then. Yikes. All right, well, that is it for the review segment. What is next year usually? Let me find the show notes.
Next year?
Next week.
Oh, next week. We talked about it.
Next week's episode?
Yeah, I thought we
yeah, but the viewers don't know.
Oh. Yeah, tell them.
All right, well, next week. Yes, we're doing The Last Duel, Ridley Scott, Matt Damon, Adam Driver. Who else is in that one?
Ben Affleck, Jodie Comer.
There's a chick that I think is pretty well known that I always forget. I don't know.
Jodie Comer.
Oh, yeah. I forgot her name. That's her name.
What'd you say, Nathaniel?
Jodie Comer.
That's it. But that's on HBO Max. Just came to streaming there. So you're watching it just how I'm sure Ridley Scott would love you to watch it. And it's on a streaming service. Oh, maybe too soon for that one. Yeah, that's on HBO Max right now. So check that out for a review next week.
Yeah.
And,
genuinely good movie as well, though, to be honest.
Yeah,
I caught that in
only one of us
theaters.
that's seen it.
No, Nathaniel caught it too, because I caught it, I think, release weekend. Then I brought it up. Then actually, I think I may have caught that the same day I watched 9 Days.
Okay.
Or maybe it'd been like a week apart. But yeah, generally good movie. My dad ended up watching that on HBO Max the other day. And he liked it.
Nice.
He was like, "Oh, I didn't realize that was Ben Affleck though, with the blonde hair."
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, it took me a minute. He's like, "It took me a minute to figure it out."
Yeah.
So, good film. Go ahead, watch it
next week for that for sure. Nathaniel, do we have a 5-star review from the harvest that we'd like to?
We certainly do. Listeners, if you want to give a 5-star review to us, we will read it out on the podcast. You can say anything you want, just don't be evil, but mean, funny, nice, whatever you want to say, we will read it out. It's just got to be 5 stars. So one of those 5 stars we've got so far is from Tyler P. Calhoun, who says, "Listen to this!" Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. 5 stars. This podcast is dope, and I loved listening to it. I enjoy the casual conversations and side talk about the movies. The new Spider-Man looks crazy. It is. And I'm excited to see what people do when they realize that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Yet, I mean, that was basically the whole thrust of that movie, why that movie happened. So they do talk about it. Also, Zendaya appears in the movie again, and you can't beat that. Good point.
You really can't.
Keep up the great work, boys. Thank you, Tyler. Other Tyler.
Thanks, guy. Nice name.
We will. Tyler. So, viewers and listeners, if you want to hear not your podcast, that's too long, your review read out for our podcast, just give us 5 stars in the podcast app on Apple iTunes. We'll figure out some way to do it on Spotify too someday, but you can do it in app. It's really easy.
You can do it on Spotify now, I think.
Well,
you can leave ratings. I don't know if you can leave reviews.
Okay.
I have to look into that more because apparently, you have to have listened to at least 10 episodes or something. But then there's also a way where you can do mark all as played or something. Again, gonna have to look into it. I also don't know if you can leave written reviews, but you can do 5-star ratings on Spotify.
So if you want to do that, or if you want to share the podcast, that'd really help us out.
Yeah, you could do that. Share it with who, Nathaniel?
Well, if you're getting some calls maybe from a guy and he seems a little threatening, one way that you could keep them on the line so that the police can trace the call is to recommend them our podcast. So we are Back Row Banter. You can find us out there. If you've got another friend you want to recommend us to, or even, maybe you're out there up to no good and you're listening to our podcast and we're convincing you not to kill people, don't do it. But do let them know about the podcast.
These are all good points. You can also follow us on Twitter at Banter Row, where you'll get the latest updates of the show, just like the one we had to release this week as this episode was delayed. Usually we're going to try to come out on Wednesdays, and instead, of course, it's coming out Friday morning, whenever this gets
Filthy Friday.
Yeah, but we did tweet out about that. That's where you get all your show updates on, if the review ends up changing midweek, if the episode gets delayed, the release date gets delayed, whatever it is, any updates news-wise for the show that are important for you guys to know. It's coming to Twitter.
If you see some cool movie news, tweet it at the pod. Maybe we'll put it on the podcast.
Yeah, that'd be very helpful for me as I make my show notes. So definitely be on the lookout for that. You can also follow us on Instagram at Back Row Banter Pod. On YouTube, we're just Back Row Banter. And our email for any questions, comments, concerns, grievances, anything of the sort is backrowbanterpod@gmail.com. BlakeHolder, where can the people find you at, my man?
Letterboxd, BlakeHolder. I'll be on there keeping a tab of everything I watch. Put down a brief review for Scream 2022. So we'll keep it rolling, and can't really tell you when next time I'll have a review. Maybe 9 days, because I did genuinely like that one. Shout out Zazie Beats as well. So that's where you can find me. We'll go to Ty.
You can find me at twitch.tv/El Trabajo. We're trying to reach partnership. It's a long road, but come join us. Just have some fun. It's always a good time. And Letterboxd, Twitter, and Instagram are all Tyler Vidalis, VIDALES. Nathaniel.
What up, folks? You can follow me on Twitter and Letterboxd. If you're ever curious what new movies I'm watching or anything like that, everything new I watch goes up on Letterboxd. I don't do reviews, but I do log it. On Instagram, I'm at NathanielG92. Follow my other podcast, Sandpiper Tapes. We're working on some stuff. I know I say that every time, but we are. We genuinely are. And, maybe we'll see some stuff too soon. Adam, what about you? Have you, you're in the Twitchosphere now as well too, right? You've made a return.
I'm twitching, man. I'm twitching. I'm the third future face of Twitch. So I have been streaming a little bit, playing a lot of Halo, streaming some Halo. So come find me on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Aish. I'll be live this Sunday with the HCS Open online Open number 4, I think.
Which
I've placed.
You're not drawing enough attention to this. You're playing against actual Halo pros and shit. So people do watch it. It's competitive and it's cool to watch. If you've ever watched online sports or anything, I tuned in this weekend to watch a couple of your games. So definitely check them out, folks.
Yeah.
Dope.
It's been fun. It's been yeah, I mean it's been great just kind of playing. Like that's like all I think about doing is just playing Halo and then getting
No,
getting
it
on.
isn't, Papa Schwartz. No, it's not. He's really concentrated on school.
Sorry, you're breaking up. Nah, yeah, my grades are great. No, it's been a lot of fun playing, and it's just something I genuinely enjoy doing. And
Competitive gaming is different, man.
It's coming out, man.
It's cool.
Does Mizzou have an esports thing yet?
They do. Yeah, we have I am part of the Mizzou esports media team. I haven't done a ton with them yet because last semester they're kind of starting to set it up. And then this semester they're actually looking to start getting things done. But they have 3 scholarship sports. It's maybe 4 now. They started with League of Legends, Overwatch, and Rocket League are their sports where they offer scholarships for them. And then I think they might have added Valorant as another scholarships team.
Gotcha. Okay.
But then they have a bunch of club teams for other games. So COD, they have a COD team because there's a big the college Call of Duty League is pretty big. And then they have a Rainbow Six club team. They have a few Smash, like Super Smash Bros. Players.
Cool.
Yeah, they have a few different ones. And I saw recently that there is a Halo College League. I don't know if I would end up going to play in that just because
you'd smoke everyone. Yeah, understood.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking is like I could, but then I like competing more for the bigger tournaments, and I don't know what that entails as far as the college Halo thing goes. I'm pretty sure if I had to guess, it's gonna be like
esports is gonna be so big.
And I'm enjoying myself playing.
Next 5 years. I said esports is gonna be so big. Like next 5 years, man. They have the potential at least. Like
looking at it where we're at now, I think Rocket League has probably the easiest potential to get the biggest.
I'm just saying
that is just grown exponentially. And that is just the easiest to digest as like an average viewer.
Sure.
It's just soccer with cars.
Yeah.
And the games are actually really intense, and what they're doing is incredibly, incredibly difficult when you actually try to sit there and play Rocket League.
Yeah,
I'm not good at Rocket League.
It's one of those it looks easy to play, but it's actually very difficult, or like easy to understand, but it's actually very complicated.
Yes, 100%. So that is one that I think is top 3 esports in the world right now. It's that, usually League of Legends, and I think probably Valorant is up there.
Or Overwatch.
And CS is still up there. Overwatch is up there. So those 5 I just listed, I think, are the top 5 for sure. And one of those is bound to blow up to more mainstream.
Right.
But just as video games grow, which they are constantly doing, I mean, even the last 5 years, you've seen people who identify, who have played video game. That's expanded greatly. Just as video games expand, so are esports. The more people you have playing games, the more people there are going to be to watch those games at a competitive level. So
yeah, GTA 5 still the single highest profit on any media ever in the history of the world. Yeah, it's like 5 billion or something like that they've been able to pull in on just off that game alone. But sorry for adding 5 minutes to the podcast there, folks.
Oh no, it's all good. But yeah, I'll be live this Sunday with another tournament. Still trying to find like a permanent 4th member of our team. But we're running with whoever we can and doing pretty good doing it. So. Catch me there, twitch.tv/Aish. Catch me on Twitter at Aish24, where I've been tweeting a little bit more recently. You've also may have seen my Wordle tweets. Oh, my Wordle scores. Nathaniel introduced me to Wordle. This is going to add another 5 minutes to the podcast, so I want to be quick with it. But I'm sure people who use Twitter have maybe seen Wordle, if you've seen those like black, green, yellow square things that people post. It's a daily word scramble game. It's a lot of fun. I wish I could play more of it, but it's only one word a day, and that's part of the fun. Send us your scores. You can follow me on Twitter, see mine. I'm going to probably keep posting them for the most part. Nathaniel, did you get today's?
I was just
mine.
I was just looking at it now. I've actually forgotten to do today as I was working all day. So
okay, good. Hurry, you only have an hour.
Yeah.
Today almost got me. I almost didn't get today's.
All right, fair enough.
I got it the last second. Yeah. I think that's it for me. Follow me on Letterboxd at Aish. Eventually, I plan on uploading some videos to YouTube for just like some of my complete games or clips or whatever it ends up being. So you can catch me on YouTube at Aish, I believe it is. I think that's going to do it, guys. Everyone went, right? I'm the last one.
You're the last one?
Awesome. All right, I think that's going to do it for episode 86. Thank you guys for listening. especially if you made it this far. It means a lot to me that you listened to, what is this, an hour and 34 minutes, something like that, of me and my friends rambling. It means a lot. Join us next week for our review of The Last Duel, and we'll be RB.
Be excellent to each other, everyone, and we will be RB.
Thanks for stopping by. Sorry for the little, late release, but we got stuff going on, and we're here for you anyways. But please like, comment, subscribe, share the podcast, do whatever you do to help us grow. Because at the end of the day, it's what we want to do, so we can, produce better content for you guys. So we appreciate everything you guys do. Mad love, and just be good to one another, and we'll be RB.
Yeah, thanks for listening. As always, we appreciate the support. The month of January is flying by, man. So time slows down for no one. So make sure you're doing something you love every day, and that means you're living the right way. So we'll be RB.
America. Ready for another lesson.
I know we say all the time that it feels like it hasn't been long since we last saw each other, but this one feels like it's been 4 years since I've seen you guys. I think it's because Tyler's been out of the store too.
That's probably true.
Oh yeah, you've been off what you said for a week or something?
Yeah, it's been it's 10 days at the end of the day.
That's not bad at all.
So I go back on Sunday, but luckily Green Bay plays on Saturday, bitches.
Yeah, one of my I'll say one of my close buddies from school. He's from Milwaukee. He played basketball at the college I went to, but he's going to the game. But obviously, he's a huge fucking Packers fan. As anybody from Wisconsin, yeah, dude. So
I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's dope.
I would go. I just I don't have the finances for that right now.
It's gonna be cold as fuck.
Oh, that would be a brutal game,
dude. Saturday night. It's probably
warmer in the stadium, right? All those people.
What's up, Nathaniel?
Is it warmer in the stadium when you get all those people around you and stuff?
Slightly.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if that thing was over 10 degrees.
I would wear
kickoff.
I would wear 8 clothes. I went
to Bears Packers game probably 7 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in the dead of winter, and you had 2 pairs of socks, boots,
for sure,
leggings, jeans, undershirt, t-shirt, long sleeve sweatshirt,
it didn't even get close.
Jersey.
But then your face and your fingers and your toes, man.
Didn't care.
That's what always gets me is the toes. The toesies and the fingers.
So. It's actually really funny because you're better off wearing 1 pair of socks versus 2.
I think I knew that. You sweat through the first pair, right? And then it's just trapped against
so essentially what happens is you sweat when you put on more layers, obviously.
Yeah.
So your body being wet or moist,
right, makes you more cold.
In that cold makes that moisture more cold, which is going to make in turn you more cold. So what you want to do is actually bring 2 pairs of socks and then switch them out right before you go into the stadium if you're tailgating for a few hours.
Pro tip. Follow us for more pro tips at sporting events.
Yeah. Shout out Cody. I'm sure he'll enjoy it, man.
Shout out Cody.
Yeah, Cody, I'm jealous, and I'm hoping for a Super Bowl here, bud.
A superb owl.
Yeah. I think you guys will be close, man. So
I'm just praying die. I'm out here every day.
Tyler gets up 4 Hail Marys for the Packers.
Facts.